Dumb ways to die in an SHTF situation or otherwise on this episode of The Real World Prepper. So there's a bird in my shop. I think it's the same one. Did you see that? Did you see that? I think it was the same one that flew in that day. I was doing a video a week or so ago. Anyway. Alright, so, well, I'm just going through some stuff, some more of my, bounty that I got my hands on, after tax refund time and all that this year. And bought a bunch more mags. These are, I've never tried these before. They're Hex Mag is the brand. I don't know if you can see that. They don't sponsor me or anything like that. And they've got this pattern here. It's supposed to give you a better grip and all that. They feel pretty good. They seem like a quality product. I just got them honestly because they were on sale for the right price at an outlet that I shop at. So I bought some. And so that's where we are. Let me get this thing clipped on and realize this is a different mic. I'm still not convinced that this is better than the one I had, but it's the other one I've had some short issues in it. Pardon. And also I noticed this one seems to be fuzzier the closer it is to my mouth, so I'm going to try and maybe see if this is any better. So anyway, dumb ways to die, SHTF. Let me give you an example. And this happened to me last night. Now, for those of you who are familiar with my channel enough to have heard me mention or have seen the live stream the other night on Kansas Prepper's channel, I have an autoimmune disease. It's called ankylosing spondylitis. It is essentially, because a lot of people go, what is that? It is essentially rheumatoid arthritis of the back, neck, and spine. And so this one's got a feed issue, I can tell. So anyway, it is, rather than rheumatoid arthritis, you know, your bones, I mean your joints getting stiff and inflamed, and you know, you see people's hands all knotted up and everything. Well, the same type of process in the body goes on in my back, neck, and spine. And there's ways you can kind of treat it symptomatically, and there are some biological drugs that I don't take, actually. I did at one time until I got a little freaked out by the whole notion after doing more and more research. So at any rate, the point is, I have a stiff back, and it's subject to, it's basically more brittle than the average person's, okay? I'll put it to you that way. Or than people who don't have this disease or, you know, condition or whatever, or something similar. So if I take a really hard hit, a hard enough hit in the wrong place, you know, rather than there be some give, there'll be some break, potentially. And so last night, my wife and my child and I were in a Nerf war with a Nerf gun. I need a speed loader. This is for the birds. We were in a Nerf gun war and running around the den. This was just before the child's bedtime, and we were having a lot of fun, and you know, just it was spontaneous spur of the moment. Well, anyway, I had just taken a shot at my child, you know, and my child went down, you know, we were all playing along that way, and then my wife ran into the kitchen, so I got to run around the corner. We got hardwood floors and in the den, and tile in the kitchen. So I came running through there. You probably know where this is going. I'm in socks and PJs, and I come running around the corner, and I just go whoop. My feet, and I mean, I literally just, because I run and I go to kind of put the brakes on to, you know, go around the corner, and I just kept, I slid out from under myself, and my feet and my hands just went straight up in the air, and my back came down, just like that. And as it did, of course, my head snapped back and hit the hard floor. When my back hit, it was like I had a chiropractic adjustment, a year's worth. It like just, you could hear the ripples. I saw white, it knocked the breath out of me. I mean, I literally I was on my hands and knees trying to get my breath back for a couple of minutes. My wife was going, do I need to call 911? Do I? And I'm like, no, just give me a minute. It was just a dumb move. So I'm paying for it now. I've been hurting all day, big time. I have a feeling I'm going to hurt even worse tomorrow. It's the way these injuries usually go. If you guys know anything about it, I'm sure, Well, anyhow, that being said, that could have been bad. That could have ended poorly. I could have gotten a concussion. Who's to say I didn't? I hadn't gone to the doctor, but I'm not showing symptoms of that. But the point is, if let's say after the fact, SHTF, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not counting on doctors being readily available unless you got one in your group, doctor, nurse, all the necessary tools and skills and ways to clean all that stuff, and and some people may have that kind of setup, but for the majority of us, preppers, included, we're not prepared for some of these things. Imagine you're out, using power tools or a saw or an axe or something, splitting wood or whatever, and you don't have eye protection on, right? When something flies up and blinds an eye, and or worse. I mean, say something happens with a saw that you're using, or you even come down, and you cut yourself, cut a limb real deep, or so. I mean, these things happen every day now, to people all over the place. Some of you guys have probably had things that have happened, mash your thumb with a nail. Even simple things after the fact, if you're not prepared for them, a simple cut, can lead to an infection that can bring you down. And, of course, we've covered some of these things in some of the Prepper Mistakes videos I've done, and got Volume 5 still coming, I promise. Got it ready, I just hadn't done it. This video's off the cuff because I wasn't planning on doing one today, but with what happened last night, I figured I would share this. So, because it got me to thinking, as bad as I felt today, and hurting and everything, and luckily I had pain medication. I'm just going to be honest with you. I had, different things to help with the inflammation and all that kind of stuff. What if I didn't have all that stuff? What if I didn't have, I have the knowledge of that stuff because of my condition. What if some people don't even know how to treat a given condition and they don't even have the means to do it? Again, or if worse, what if I'd broken something and it's after the fact? Or what if I, cut myself deep, or whatever it is. If you guys saw the movie The Island with Leo DiCaprio, I don't know how you feel about him and that movie or whatever. The Beach, not The Island, The Beach. It's about 20 years old. It was the story of all these kids who made their way to this beach, and they were growing marijuana on it, and it was this utopia, and they were living off grid, and it was this paradise, this beautiful secluded place that nobody knew about. And anyhow, they would go out fishing every day in this lagoon. Well, one day a shark was in the water, and this one guy got bitten pretty bad by a shark. If I remember correctly, that's what the deal was. Anyhow, they had nothing to treat him, no way to treat him. And so they did what they could for a while, and then they grew tired of his whining and yelling and whimpering, and because he wasn't getting better and his leg was getting worse, and it was, needed to be amputated by this point. And so, what they did, they stuck him out in the woods. They didn't kill him. They just left him out in the woods in a tent far away from the camp so that they didn't have to listen to him, and they just figured nature would take its course. And so just something to think about, guys. Like I say, I didn't have an outline for this video. It just was something I wanted to share with you guys. So think about those things when it comes to SHTF scenarios. Think about them now. I mean, be careful. Exercise caution. We don't need dumb ways to die or otherwise hurt or maim ourselves. We don't need to do that at any time in our lives, but certainly not after the point when there's hospitals to go to and medical equipment that's in use and ready to be used, and people staffed and understanding and knowing how to use all this stuff. You know, in the modern world that we live in, it would still suck, but at least you got a way to deal with it. You know, in a post SHTF scenario, who knows where you stand, you know. So think about that. Be careful. Always, you know, take help when you need it. Don't do something you can't do. Don't overextend yourself. Don't, you know, don't be careless with your tools. Don't be, you know, use all your safety gear. Take your time. You know, just think about these things. Just wanted to say also, I think I've come up with what, if anybody wants any of these shirts, you go to my About section. I've got my email address, and I've got a P.O. box address. It's in my About section on my channel. If anybody's interested, and I'm not selling them, I didn't buy a bunch of them to sell, but I figured out how to work this out. I can get you a shirt in whatever style and size you want, and the styles are black with this logo, long sleeve or short sleeve. You've seen, I think, both of them if you've watched my videos. The long sleeve, I can get it to you in the mail for 40 bucks. Just straight up. I'm not selling these shirts. If anybody wants one, a donation of 40 bucks would get you a long sleeve, and a donation of 32 bucks would get you a short sleeve. And it would get it mailed to your house. So if you're interested, or you want to correspond in any other way by snail mail or email, it's all in my About section. Thanks for watching, guys. Something to think about, dumb ways to die in an SHTF scenario. So thanks. Real World Prepper out.